This one's going to be a blast, guys, and it's made possible by our friends over at the National Association for Gun Rights. With over 4.5 million members, it's the only grassroots-led, no-compromise gun rights organization fighting to restore your rights at all levels of the government. Plus, they have some pretty cool giveaways as well. Check out the link down below. Become a member as they support your constitutional rights. Now let's blow some stuff up with Ordnance Lab. Hey guys, Dustin here, and we are in South Texas now. We're branching out the Top Shot Tree service. Sean with Ordnance Lab has, well, ordnance.
Yeah, legit ordnance. We're going to go out here and do some destroying the trees. I've seen you shoot it with all kinds of different weapons and whatnot, but now it's time to do things differently. We'll try it again with legit ordnance, like a pipe bomb. We'll also be using a hand grenade and kind of showing that, hey, grenades and ordnance are really not that effective for taking out trees compared to actual real explosives. And so what we're doing is we'll be trying some Detcord, TNT, some it's a dynamite equivalent, and some other stuff that my business partner Jake, who's the mad scientist and makes all this magical stuff happen. I like just to see the booms and how it happens. How the magic of how it occurs kind of makes me go to sleep sometimes. I'm not really in the technical part, but we'll be showing y'all a couple of different types of explosives and making some booms.
Couldn't ask for more. Let's blow stuff up.
Let's do it.
So what we have here is Detcord wrapped around a tree, and I tell you, it looks pretty promising to me.
Yeah, and this right here is just regular 50 grain Detcord that you'd use for a lot of different things. We can get into what you can use. All the different things of Detcord can be used for both as an explosive, for taking out things, used for breaching, and also for initiating other charges. But right now we've got about I'd say about 30-40 bucks worth of Detcord wrapped around here. This is where cutting down trees with Detcord, a lot of folks seem to think that folks do that regularly, but it's really inefficient for doing that. Much easier to use a chainsaw, but you can use
machine gun?
Yeah, well, it's a field expedient way of doing it. So what we'll do is we'll see if this right here is able to take down the tree on its own. I'm a little bit skeptical whether it's going to do it. I think we'll have better luck with the TNT charges of dynamite. But we've got it rigged up here with a electric blasting cap, so we'll get back about 200 meters and set it off and see what happens.
Man, it's gonna be a fun day.
Oh, it is. So for our friends at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, make sure that we're showing that we're properly segregating our explosives. You got our whole big old bag of fun right here, big old box of fun with a bunch of Ready Prime and TNT charges that we'll party with later on. But so we'll grab our blasting cap, and you want to, of course, make sure that you keep your cap segregated from your explosives. Again, the odds of an explosion occurring are extremely remote, or an accidental explosion going off is extremely remote, but you still want to make sure that you take all the precautions. So we have right here our electric blasting cap, and we'll go ahead and rig that up to the wire and get things ready to go. All right, it's ready to go whenever you are.
Oh, sweet. I am ready. And ready. Fire in the hole! Yes! It didn't fall though!
Nope, looks like it didn't work. We'll go out there and check it out though.
It's more red flames than I thought. I thought it was going to be kind of a cleaner, not so gratifying, but I like the red flames. That was cool. Well, that was a lot of noise for what looks like could have done with a machete.
Yeah, so I mean, it really damaged the tree quite a bit, but you didn't get the effect of it like taking it out. And this is a good example of how like wood can actually survive pretty well against explosives. And I mean, the tree obviously did not have a good time, but it didn't knock it down.
And I guess technically it could be dead with all that bark stripped off.
Man, I'm sure that in your audience there's probably a arborologist. Is that?
It's all about xylem and phloem, and if you cut off that one string.
I'm sure there's someone in the comments section that can tell us like whether the tree's going to make it or not. But this weesatch is just a godforsaken plant that grows everywhere, and so I've seen it survive all kinds of crazy things. Typically, whenever we blast them out, we'll get the whole root system out, and that'll kill it off. But we'll see that with some of the other charges. For our grenades, we've got one here's an American-style M67 fragmentation grenade. This is a standard U.S. military issue. We have a Polish-style grenade right here that is a lot heavier, and we could go into we spend all day long talking about grenades and all that stuff, But for the purpose of this right here, we're going to show basically that explosive ordnance really doesn't do that good on trees. Now, the original plan is we were going to get this M67. We were going to use this M213 fuse. This is the same fuse that the military uses. We're going to be all cool. We're going to fill it up with explosives, run up there, you know, pull the pin, throw the grenade, and then, oh, yeah, of course, and run away like on Monty Python away from the killer rabbit. But we weren't going to be able to place it correctly and have all the safety protocols we want to have. So in lieu of us throwing the grenade, what we're going to do is we're going to take this Russian grenade, or sorry, the Polish grenade, and we're going to fill it up with a liquid binary explosive and put the blasting cap in there, screw it down in there, and then we'll do a command detonation and we'll put it in the right spot. But again, whenever you get into throwing grenades and whatnot, you lose that safety that you get whenever you have a command detonation. So we'll fill this up with the equivalent of TNT. Again, for us, it's simpler to use a binary explosive versus filling it up with like TNT or something else that we have to get the transport issues. But
about the same result.
Yeah, it's going to be the same level of energy. But the goal with this right here is to show that, hey, explosive ordnance is not really good for taking out trees.
But it's still fun.
Yes, it is. So we'll get out there, we'll fill it up with explosives and put it in place and set her off. So we'll stick her in here.
So we got it going in a hole.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to uproot this puppy.
Yeah. So I've got it sitting in there now, and so it's just going to sit there whenever it detonates. And again, this right here will probably show that it really doesn't do much. It's going to damage it, but it's not going to send like the tree flying or anything like that. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Goals. We have goals though. Send the tree flying. Grenade, fire in the hole. A lot of black smoke on that one. Tree still standing. I still had fun. I had 2 jobs, and I should just stick with one job. I was supposed to push the charge destroy button, and then I was supposed to stop the high speed. I didn't stop the high speed. Having too much fun. We tore some mess up though. Yeah, it still caused damage, and you got some fragmentation right here that hit it. So that got chipped out. This is real hard packed South Texas clay. So it's made it softer here. We're able to get in here a little bit deeper. Broke up the ground, but it didn't cause catastrophic damage. It did damage this root system right here. So it took that out, and it got some more damage up in here. It looks like it stripped all the bark off.
Yeah, so it did cause damage to it, but it wasn't something that went in there and would have actually knocked it out. So you can't go out there with a bunch of hand grenades, just throw them at trees and hope that they'll get blasted out. But what we'll try right now is we'll go ahead and try next with a pipe bomb and see how that works.
Sweet. So we have, it's more of a bush, it's a small tree, but another hole, but on the other side of the berm, so we're plenty safe.
Yeah, because these right here will throw fragmentation out. There's a recommended 300-meter standoff with these from the military because it will actually throw chunks of metal flying out. It's a really unpredictable weapon. It's a really weird with pipe bombs. Like, you could be standing next to it and be totally unscathed except for whatever like injury from the explosion, but you could be 100 meters away and you could get hit by a chunk of metal flying out of the sky. So what we did right here is we're going to be on the opposite side of the berm so that any fragmentation is going to go out this way, and we don't have to worry about that. And hopefully it's going to do some damage because we actually got a pretty good amount of explosives in there. We got about a pound of a tannerite equivalent. And so we'll see what happens with it. We'll light it off and run away and make a boom.
All right.
All right, let's do it. All right. Y'all ready?
Go for it.
Hold on to your butts.
Okay.
There we go. We got ignition.
Here we go. There it goes. I'll stop the camera. I see lots of fresh dirt clods.
Yeah.
Ooh, is that shrapnel?
Yep.
Oh, that's a cool souvenir. That's pretty cool. So we can see some of the threads. Yeah, so it tore the face of it off again, but boy, it did some damage to our dirt. I mean, this was more of a
You can see the fragmentation coming off of this right here. Jake did a great job with the explosive. It's still hot, and it's one of those things that I have learned my lesson multiple times about, like, well, that's cool, and then do the hot potato thing.
Oh, it's all over.
Yeah, so, and it did really well. This explosive right here, it's that tannerite has a more of a pushing effect, and so whenever that works really well. It's similar to ANFO, and it works really well for blasting out trees. It's what we'd be using normally. If we were to pick out the perfect explosive to use for it, would be these types of explosives that have more of that pushing effect than a shattering effect.
You say to remove trees, but here's our tree, so how would you change that up?
Well, this right here, that's where you'd be using the explosives instead of an explosive weapon.
Oh,
something like this right
gotcha.
here, the explosives are great for it, but it's contained in there, and it's with the pipe, that right there limits its effect compared to as an explosive versus a weapon. But you can also see how crappy of a weapon it would be. You've got all this fragmentation that didn't actually leave and go flying out. So that's what I was saying before, that where a pipe bomb is just a really crappy weapon, and it's totally unpredictable for what it can do. I heard it sounded like we had some pieces go flying off, and so I'm sure that there's something that landed way far away, but you still have all these fragments that would have been great for a casualty-producing weapon that had these gone flying out there, they could have seriously injured folks if that's what you're looking to do, and they're just sitting here around it.
Interesting.
Yep. Now
this tree lives on.
Yeah. It gets a reprieve because we're going to do some more stuff with it. But let's move on to testing out some actual explosives now.
Okay. Thanks for joining us for part 1 of our explosives versus tree video, guys. It ended up being well over 30 minutes, so we're like, we better cut this up into 2. But come back when we use TNT, we use dynamite, we use Detcord, TNT, and dynamite, and their own mixture of Gemini explosives to be able to blow those trees to kingdom come. And go check out Ordnance Lab and their collection of explosive videos as well. Remember to hit notifications so you see part 2. Okay, I love you, bye-bye!